What's up guys, this is the Honest Outlaw, and today I wanted to test out a couple of new parts on my AR, so I decided the best way to do that is a speed test. And one of the things that I want to test, and the main portion of this video, is red dots versus 3x9 optics. Now I don't usually run 3x9 optics because I have this impression that they're slower than you know, your average 1 power optic, but well, since I test out stuff, I figured I'd actually test that theory out. So what I plan on doing today is shooting at about 10 yards, about 50 yards, and about 100 yards. And I say about because that plan can change depending on, you know, the sun and the wind and all that stuff. But yeah, so I think we'll shoot a couple targets fast on the timer with the 3x9. This is a Leupold AR scope. It's a really great budget scope. And we'll compare the times to that Aimpoint H1 over there. Now both of these rifles are BCM. This one is a 16-inch and that one is a 14.5-inch. This one also has the stretch 16 barrel, which is a new barrel I put on this rifle, and I plan on testing that, but that's for another video. So without further ado, we'll get into the first test. It'll be about 10 yards. The second test 50, the third test probably about 100. And yeah, we'll see how they do. Oh, and again, a disclaimer, it's kind of windy today. Sorry about that. We have a new mic we're trying out, and we'll see if that helps out. But if not, sorry. All right, it is super windy out here, and again, for that, I'm sorry. We are at about 15 yards instead of 10, just to be a little bit more safe. And first up is the 3x9. We'll see how it does. Well, it is 3.32 for anybody who can't see it. Alright, so now we're going to be rocking the red dot, and we'll see how it does. I gotta start that over, my dot's not on. It's on the night setting. It's pretty bright out here today. Alright, so it's 3.09.
You hit me.
See how much ammo we got. Alright, I think we got 3 rounds of mag. Somewhere in there. So what we'll do is we'll run this one more time real quick, and instead of double taps, this time we're going to do headshots. I don't have enough in that one, so reload. You ready?
Ready.
Okay, 2.89. .25. That was significantly faster. So about the same on the double taps. I think that's because with my less dominant eye, my weak eye, I don't know what you want to call it, I can track the bigger targets a little bit easier, you know, by, you know, superimposing the image of the target with my left eye on my right eye and kind of using that Trigicon bending aiming concept for the bigger targets. So it's about the same, but for the headshots, you know, it's just easier to pick up faster with the red dot. So with the headshots, it's significantly faster, at least for me. You know, remember this test data is just for me. Okay, so same test again, and as you can see down there, we're at about 50 yards. So 50 yards ought to kind of split the difference between the red dot and the scope, I think. That's kind of why I want to test it, see which one has the advantage here. And after we get done here, then we'll move out to 100. So let's get into it. Okay, 536. 3 different targets, 6 rounds. All right, now the red dot. .644. I don't actually remember if that was faster or not, do you?
That's slower.
What?
That's slower.
Slower? All right, so apparently at 50 yards or so, the scope starts taking advantage. All right, let's move out to 100, and at the 100, then we'll shoot the steel. All right, so now we're at about 90 yards, and we're gonna be doing the same test. I have 3 steel IPSC targets there. They're about 2/3 the size of a normal IPSC target. We're gonna put 2 rounds on them apiece, and we'll see how fast that takes, or how long that takes, whatever. We had 1 miss in there. 10.49. Not too bad. Let's try the red dot. All right, 13.91. I think we had 1 miss there too. It's kind of hard for me to hear. I got double ear pro on, so I may have hit that 3 times. Either way, I wasn't sure. One of the benefits of the scope is you can see your target, you can see the hits at 100 yards. So, we'll slide over there for some conclusions.
Why would you own the scope versus the red dot? What's the significance of this video?
Oh, so a couple of reasons why you would have a red dot for starters is because red dots are basically, they're better up close. Now this is kind of the myth. They're way better up close because you have a lot bigger field of view. You can see what's going on, you can see what's moving around you, and that's not a myth. You know, it would be interesting to actually test this with moving targets, because I feel like with moving targets, the red dot would really beat the crap out of the scope, just because when you're looking down the 3x9 scope and you have your other eye watching to try to see what's going on, it's still more difficult than seeing through no view at all, you know, because the red dot's basically just looking at your target and superimposing a dot on it, as opposed to trying to make the magnification work. And if you're experienced, you can make it work. But yeah, I forgot to mention that as far as moving targets go, the red dot's probably gonna be better. But one of the reasons why you would have the 3x9 scope is just because it's obviously better for long distance, and the 3x9 scope is the most popular scope in the United States, probably. It's a very versatile platform. You can go from 3 magnification all the way to 9. 9 will get you out to around 500, 600, 700 yards easy. Experienced shooters can push it far past that. Even 3-power scopes, you can get, you know, well out to 300, 400 yards with those. So it's a really popular hunting scope, especially because it really excels in the ranges that you would usually hunt animals in. As far as a red dot scope, which is usually designed more for a close range. I actually use one for hunting, which is kind of funny because I just talked about how the 3x9 is really good at it. I use this for deer hunting because when I hunt deer, it's usually 100 yards and in. And I actually use that on my shotgun. If you want to hear the reasoning behind that, check out the video I have on this versus the MRO. But basically, a red dot is probably the best thing you can hope for, so they say, between 0 to 10 to even out to 50 and on 100 yards. So, you know, if you get a guy like Travis Haley, he can shoot this at 500 or 600 yards. I personally can't, and that's one thing you have to remember. There's a reason why they're scopes, because I know some really experienced shooters can shoot these long distances, but for your average person, it's going to be much easier with some magnification. And magnification doesn't make you shoot better, but it does make you be able to see the target better. And if you can see the target, you can put the reticle on it, and you can put the rounds on it. If you can't see the target, you're going to have some problems.
Price difference.
Oh, the price difference, this is running about, these are generally going to be more expensive than your average 3-9 scope. Premium red dots run about $400 to $500 to $600 all the way to $700, depending on what Aimpoint, MRO. MRO is probably $450, somewhere in there. Cheap red dot's 100, 200 bucks, but I really wouldn't suggest those for self-defense. I know a lot of other YouTubers do, but I've had several of them fail on me just from my testing. So buy a good red dot and stick with it. However, you can get quality 3x9 scopes anywhere from $200 all the way to $3,000. It really depends on what kind of quality you want to get. But with modern day manufacturing, the prices on these scopes are getting lower and lower and lower. It used to be you'd have to pay several $1,000s for a good red dot, but now, you know, this red dot was, or this scope was 400 bucks, I think. And it's, other than it being an inch tube instead of 30 mil, I mean, it's pretty much everything you can ask for. I'll have a full review on this coming up. All right, so in conclusion, I personally don't think, 3x9 is that bad for you. I'm surprised actually how well it did up close. I'll probably do a whole video dedicated to it now instead of just one of these quick speed tests. I'll probably do a CQB 3x9 test, just to really put 100 rounds through it up close and just see how it does. Because I was really impressed. It was fairly easy. Part of the reason why is you can use that bending eye concept, bending aiming concept, whatever it's called, from Trijicon. That's kind of nice if you shoot with two eyes open. The other thing you can do is you can shoot above the optic. Maybe you could even turn it sideways and have one of those open gun red dot sights on the side. There's a lot of things you can do with a 3x9, so don't count that out even for a self-defense situation. You know, if you have a 3x9 scope on your AR for coyote hunting or something like that, would it double for an inside the house optic? Yeah, I think it probably could. If you really think about it, you're not shooting targets out there on a timer, so as long as it does the job, it does the job. And plus 50 yards, you could definitely see it separating from the red dot. It was definitely better at, it was marginally better at 50, definitely easier at 100. Take it from me, I was the one who was shooting. It was way easier to shoot at 100 yards, seeing your target, knowing exactly where the reticle is. Yeah, it was awesome. So 3x9, definitely don't count it out. Maybe we'll do one of these with 3x9 versus 1 to 6, 1 to 4, something like that too, maybe if you're interested. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters and remember to recycle. Check you later.